Hello, and welcome to METV, Manatee Educational Television. Our show today concerns benefits that touch the lives of millions of Americans, Social Security disability. I am Darrell Rosenthal, Social Security Public Affairs Specialist, and I am privileged to have Jessica Genois Duranville, a Social Security Claims Specialist, as my guest today. We are going to provide you with information that will help you become more knowledgeable about disability benefits and the disability filing process. And also, to learn more, you can always use the Social Security website, which is ssa.gov. First of all, it's good to have you with us today, Jessica.
Thank you for having me.
And I'd like to know, what is the definition of disability?
Social Security has a very strict definition of disability. Disability is defined as having an injury or illness that is expected to last 12 months or more or result in death. Now, this same injury or illness has to prevent you from being able to work and earn up to $11.30 per month. That amount changes every year. While some agencies may have short-term disability or partial disability, Social Security does not. You're either disabled or you're not.
Oh, okay. And who can get disability?
A person that is at least 18 years old, insured for benefits and eligible to receive them before they reach their full retirement age, can qualify for Social Security disability. To be insured for benefits, the person had to have worked for a limited amount of times, usually working 5 out of 10 years before they become disabled to be insured.
Okay. And if they're a little bit younger, is there a different requirement?
Yes, if someone is under age 31, they can qualify for Social Security disability without having to work as many years.
Oh, okay. And what is SSI?
SSI is Supplemental Security Income. It is a needs-based program for people that are 65 years old or older, either blind or disabled. It is the full amount that you can get for SSI is $733 a month for an individual and $1,100 a month for a couple if both spouses are disabled. Now, this program has eligibility requirements such as the living arrangements, income, and resources. What we mean by living arrangements is if someone is paying their fair share. Now, because it's a needs-based program, they look at those things. So, for example, if someone is living in a house where the mortgage is $1,400 a month and they're only contributing $400 a month, then that amount, that $733 amount, will be reduced because of that. The other eligibility factor is income. Because, again, it's a needs-based program, we look at what income is coming into the household for that person. If the person is working or if they're receiving some type of outside pension, that will also reduce the $733 or the $1,100 that they're receiving every month. And the other factor of eligibility is resources. For someone to qualify for SSI or Supplemental Security Income, they have to have assets or resources that are less than $2,000 for an individual and $3,000 for a couple. So if someone is applying for SSI and they have like $5,000 in their bank account, they won't qualify for that program.
Okay. And how does a person actually apply for SSI?
When you apply for Social Security disability benefits, we normally also take an application for SSI. So if you go online and you file for Social Security disability, we will also, someone from the local office will contact you to take the SSI part because you can't actually do that online.
Oh, okay. And also, if a person has Social Security benefits or gets Social Security benefits, does that affect the SSI benefit?
Yes, if you're receiving a low amount on your Social Security benefits, then you may qualify to receive benefits on the SSI. Another thing is, if you get approved for Social Security benefits, there's a 5-month waiting period. And where the SSI actually, we can pay you the SSI while we wait for your disability benefits to start.
Okay. And then if your Social Security is either over a certain amount or just by getting Social Security, that would either lessen the SSI, right?
Yes.
Or it could stop it.
Yes, because that's a type of income. And remember, we said that's part of the eligibility factors.
Okay, I get it. All right. And what kind of information do you need when you apply for disability?
When we're taking a disability application claim for somebody, we ask you about the list of the doctors that you've seen, the dates you were there, the hospitals you were in, a list of medications that you're on pertaining to the disability, of course, and also if you took any medical tests. Now, for one part of the disability process, we ask you about your employers for the last 3 years. And for the second part, we don't necessarily ask you for the names of the employers, but rather a summary of what you did and how long you've done it for the past 15 years.
Okay. So if somebody, let's say, has a bunch of different doctors and hospitals, but they clearly have nothing to do with the disability that they're now filing for, do they have to list all that other stuff too?
No, they don't have to list that. We really want to know about the disabling condition. So if you're telling us your sickness has to do with because you're depressed, then we want to know what kind of medical tests you've done for depression, what doctors you've seen for that depression. So you don't have to tell us about, your dentist or your vision or your optometrist.
Okay. So I guess you could say that's the same thing for medical tests too, right?
Yes, that goes for the medical tests as well.
Okay. And who decides if you're actually disabled?
Your application for disability is initiated with the Social Security office. We decide what we call the non-medical factors. Those are things like if you meet the age requirement, if you meet the citizenship requirement, or if you meet the work requirement, meaning you're not working and making over $11.30 per month. If you meet the non-medical factors, then we send your case over to the Disability Determination Services, the DDS. The DDSs are the state agencies that Social Security has an agreement with to make the medical decision on the disability claims. They are the ones that obtain the medical records and review them and decide whether or not you meet the medical part of the disability.
Oh, okay. When a person files a claim and then they have more information they want to give to Social Security, during the disability process, who is their contact?
You can still contact the Social Security representative that took your disability application claim and give them new information that you may have. And sometimes the DDS also has the representative that is working on your case, and you can also reach out to them as well if they provide you that information.
Okay. And how long does the average case take about?
It can take about 3 months for them to make a decision, initial decision on the disability.
Oh, okay. All right. And what is the 5-step process?
The 5-step process is how Social Security decides if someone is disabled. So here's how it works. At step number 1, we ask, is the person working over the limit, that $11.30 amount that I mentioned earlier? Now, keep in mind that amount changes every year, so it all depends. If someone is working and making over $11.30 per month gross, then their application for disability will be denied. Now, if the person is not working or they're making less than $11.30 per month, then we proceed and we go to step number 2. At step number 2, we ask, is your condition severe enough? What the state agency looks for is to see if the condition that you're saying that you have is keeping you from performing basic work activities, like are you able to walk? Is it keeping you from walking, sitting down, or remembering things for 12 months or more? Now, if your condition is keeping you from doing those things, then we move on to step number 3. And if it does not, then more than likely your application will be denied. At step number 3, we ask if we look to see if your condition is found on the list of impairments. The state agency has a list of impairments that describe conditions that are so severe that they automatically mean you're disabled as defined by law. So if your condition is on that list of impairments, then your application should be approved. If it is not on that list of impairments, then we move on to step number 4. At step number 4, we ask, can you do the work that you did previously? So despite having your medical condition, if you can still do the work that you used to do before you became disabled, your application will probably be denied. But if you can't do the work that you used to do previously, we move on to the final step, step number 5, where we ask, can you do any other type of work? At that step, the state agency looks at your medical condition, your age, your educational level, as well as any other skills that you might have acquired when you were working. If you can use those skills to do another type of job, then your application would be denied. If you cannot use those skills to do any other type of job, then more than likely you would be approved.
Okay. What does Social Security have in place to speed up some claims, let's say, that maybe are considered more severe?
Social Security does have a provision in place to expedite claims for people that have terminal illness or what we call compassionate allowances, and also for wounded warriors or certain veterans with disabilities.
Okay. And the compassionate allowances, that's a list that Social Security has come up with, so that certain cases are recognized, so there's a good chance people are going to be approved possibly within days. Is that correct?
That's correct. That's why we expedite it, because those illnesses are terminal, so we want to make sure we get to them right away.
Okay, that's great. Can family members get benefits?
Yes, if you are receiving disability benefits and you have children that are under the age of 18 or under the age of 19 and still in high school, they can receive benefits on your record. Now, a child can continue to receive benefits past age 19 if they are found to be disabled before they turn 22. Now, spouses can also qualify for benefits on the record if their benefit amount is not more than half of the amount that the individual with the disability is receiving. Like, for example, if the disabled person is receiving $1,500 a month and their spouse is receiving benefits and it's $1,100 a month, then they would not receive any benefits on the record because their amount is more than half of that amount. But if they're receiving $1,500 a month and the spouse is only receiving like $500 a month, then they could receive benefits on the disabling person's record. And it works both ways.
Okay. And when it comes to the spouse's benefits, do you get both benefits? Do you get benefits first on your own record? How does that part work?
Yes, we pay you benefits on your own record first, and then we pay you the difference up to the half amount on the spouse's record.
So Social Security first lets you get your own benefit or pays you on your own record?
Yes.
And then sees if you can get more as a spouse?
Yes.
Okay. Now, how do retirement benefits work with disability benefits?
Disability benefits are usually higher than retirement benefits. So if you are already receiving disability benefits, you will stay on disability benefits. The only thing is when you reach your full retirement age, it converts to retirement. Now, the amount doesn't change, we change it to retirement because you're at your full retirement age. Another thing is that we no longer have any work restrictions because you're at your full retirement age, and we no longer do any medical evaluations. Now, if you were already receiving retirement benefits and you become disabled, you can receive disability benefits as well. So if you are 62 years old and you're receiving your retirement benefits, and then you become disabled at age 63, and you get approved for disability, then we will pay you the disability benefits in place of the retirement benefits that you are receiving.
Okay. So if somebody becomes disabled at 70, they can't get disability at that point.
No, because we had to have found you disabled prior to reaching your full retirement age. And at 70, you already passed your full retirement age. So there's no disability benefits paid.
Okay. And also, I think this is a good time to remind people again, please take advantage of the Social Security website,
Yes.
ssa.gov, because you can find a lot of good information on there explaining this process.
Yes.
Okay. So you're approved, you get disability benefits or SSI. What insurance can you get?
After you have received disability benefits for 24 months, you become eligible to receive Medicare. Now, most people would get Medicare at age 65, but if you're disabled and you receive benefits for 24 months, then you would be eligible to receive the Medicare. Part A, Part B, Part C, and also Part D. Part A is hospital insurance, so it covers like inpatient stays at a hospital. Part B is more like medical insurance, like doctor's visits, outpatients, and so on. Part C is what we call the Medicare Advantage plan, where you can get a plan with one company that provides all the coverage that you'll need for Medicare. And Part D is the prescription drug coverage that's initiated with the company of your choice.
Okay. And if there are certain people, let's say, that have lower income, is there anything out there to help them pay for their prescription drugs?
Yes, we do have the Extra Help program, which is in place. It's called the Low Income Subsidy Program, where if you're under a certain income and resources, you can qualify to get lower prescription drug costs. So if you want more information about that, you can also go on the website and you'll get more information about that.
Okay, because you can actually apply for that subsidy online,
Yes.
or you can go through your local Social Security office or call the 1-800 number.
Yes, to make an appointment and avoid waiting.
Okay. So let's just make sure that people are clear. When it comes to Medicare, you can get it when you are 65
Yes.
or when you've been on Social Security disability for 2 years. And then what were the other two situations?
And you can also get Medicare if you have if you have a chronic renal disease, or if you have Lou Gehrig's disease. That you can also get Medicare for that.
Okay. Also, we probably want to share with everybody to let them know, when it comes to the Part D, since you do go to the insurance companies directly, whereas for the rest of it, Social Security signs you up.
Right.
The Medicare website, medicare.gov,
Yes.
is also very useful just for, as far as what we're talking about today, just for the Part D, for the prescription drugs. Right on the first page of the website, there's a prescription drug plan finder, and it can narrow down a lot of choices to just 3, which makes it a lot easier to pick a company, because after you're down to 3, then you can just call them.
Yes, you can do that. And there's also like agencies that can help you, like check out the different things with Medicare as well.
Okay, that's great. Okay, what is the My Social Security account?
The My Social Security account is a free and secure online customer service and planning tool that, instead of having to go into an office, you can actually conduct your Social Security business online. So if you're not yet receiving benefits, if you are not yet receiving Social Security benefits and you actually create a My Social Security account, you will be able to see your retirement estimates, your disability estimates, and your survivor's benefits estimates. Another good thing that is that to keep in mind is also you can check your earnings history. A lot of people want to wait, until they are ready to file for their retirement or when they become disabled to check their earnings history. But what could happen with that is if there's some discrepancies, you may not have the information available for us to correct it at that time because you probably worked for that company 10 years ago or 15 years ago. But if you check your earnings history online right now, if you check it while you can, then you can avoid that and we can correct the discrepancies right away for you.
So it would be a good idea for people, if they haven't been doing it, to keep their W-2 forms every year.
Yes, just so we can make sure everything is accurate when you're ready to file.
Okay, so if somebody finds a mistake or disagrees with something 7 years later and they have their W-2 form, we should be able to correct it.
Yes.
Okay. So those are two great things about the My Social Security account. And unlike with the paper, we're only sending out the paper estimate every 5 years if you're under the age of 60.
Yes.
So this is to replace that. And, you know, there could be one moment that if somebody was to receive a paper estimate, maybe at that moment they weren't thinking about their future retirement plans.
Right.
But a few months later they could be, and if they misplaced or threw away the estimate, they have nothing to go on.
Right.
So with the My Social Security, right, they could pull it up tomorrow, today.
Yes.
Or if they want to think about it in 3 months from now, because maybe they met with a financial advisor and they had questions, they can have access to it anytime.
Yeah, it's easier.
They want.
Exactly. It's just easier for you to get instead of you trying to, because we no longer do that in the office, give you that estimate as well. So you have to
Okay.
get it online
Okay.
or by mail.
Okay, so that's what you can do when you're not receiving Social Security benefits yet.
Correct.
So what can you do with this My Social Security account if you're already getting benefits?
If you're already receiving benefits, you can actually go and you set up a My Social Security account. You can change your direct deposit, change your address, your telephone number. You can also print out your 1099 or get a benefit verification letter. It really is, it avoids you having to call the 1-800 number or coming to the office or waiting in line. It's just easier that way.
Okay. Well, let's say concerning that benefit verification letter, can you give an example or two of when that would be needed?
Well, sometimes when some people are applying for like housing assistance with housing and things like that, they require them to verify their income. So the benefit verification can be printed or emailed to whoever is requesting it. And the 1099, like if you're trying to get like a mortgage, a loan from a bank or a mortgage company, they may ask to verify your income as well, and you can also get that online.
Okay. Yeah, those are two really good situations to be able to have that, as opposed to having to ask Social Security to send you
Right.
a verification.
Yes, because
that's-
it can take a few days versus you go online really quick and then you just print it out.
Okay. And then Social Security also, in 2016, has started another service that's available?
Yes. They're actually, in 2016, they actually started the My Social Security account. Actually, you can order a replacement Social Security card through there. It's not yet available in all the states. It's a slow process, but it's coming to Florida soon. So if you set up an account, you will be able to order a replacement card online versus having to come into the office.
I see. So this My Social Security account, it lets you get an estimate anytime you want, check your earnings
Yep.
anytime you want, later on, do a change of address, change direct deposit. If you lose your Medicare card, you can get a replacement. If you need to show anyone verification of your benefit, you
income.
can do that. If tax time comes
You need that 1099.
and you lost your 1099 that Social Security sends recipients every year,
Yes.
you can pull it up on your own.
Yes.
Or if you misplaced it, okay, plus, and then you're going to be able to start to get a replacement Social Security card.
Yes.
So customer service-wise, people really aren't going to have reasons, at least seldom, to have to call a Social Security office or go into an office with
Right.
this.
Right. I think it's easier and more convenient, so you don't have to wait on the phone lines for too long, and you can avoid the long lines at the offices.
Okay, and about how long does it take to
It can
do
take
this?
about 10 minutes or 15 minutes for you to do that online. It took me about 10 when I set up my account.
Okay, and I type slow, maybe it took me a couple of extra minutes, but at any rate, it doesn't take long.
It doesn't take long for you to
Just-
do it, and I think it's beneficial. I'm not going to retire yet, and it gives me a chance to check my earnings history, as I mentioned earlier, and I can actually see if did I work there? Did I work this year? And I can actually get it corrected right away. So I think that it's helpful and beneficial.
Okay, that is a great service. And I think people would want to know that 1 in 4 of today's 20-year-olds are going to become disabled before they reach their full retirement age. So disability is something that's out there, and people should know they're paying Social Security taxes for it, and it's there.
Yes, and it's not something that you want to talk about or think about, but it is something that happens.
Okay.
So it is good information to know how the process works.
Okay. Well, we are running out of time.
Okay.
Jessica, is there anything else that you would like to add, or any points that you just wanted to make about disability?
The main thing to remember about disability for Social Security is that you have to have a medical condition that keeps you from working. Those are the key things to remember. Because sometimes even if you do have a medical condition, if it does not keep you from working, then you would not qualify for disability benefits.
Okay. And Social Security is different than other places. We don't have partial disabilities.
We don't have a percentage for disabilities. We just have whether you're disabled or you're not.
Okay. Well, thank you. Well, we hope you enjoyed our show about what you need to know about disability benefits. I am Darrell Rosenthal, Social Security Public Affairs Specialist, and I'd like to thank my guest, Jessica Genois Duranville, a Social Security Claim Specialist. Thank you for watching Manatee Educational Television.